Salutations, respected friends. Welcome you all. Greetings, gratitudes, congratulations. Through various decent lives lived according to Shastra and of Upasanas, that our Antakarna becomes Shuddha. Through continuous study of Shastras, listening to Shastras, Vicharana, the Antakarna becomes Sukshma. With that Sukshma Antakarana, the higher and greater understandings start happening. One side about the truth, the reality, other side the entire show of individual and total Maya. It is a continuous, constant, endless process to be taken up by us this way knowingly and therefore consciously. Like in the whole world too, every individual as well as total. They take up, they keep on doing, they master it, then they go to the next stage. Then they go to next stage. Then they go to next stage. From the bicycle travel up to what level of transport today we have. It's all because of the intellect subtlety that it could recognize these possibilities. And they are made. Isn't it? Anybody, any field you say, individual also, a carpenter. So slowly he learns, he does the simple minimum works. He himself, with his little more thinking, more finer works, more greater works, more bigger works, he starts learning and undertaking. An artist, a painter, how he starts? Small painting. Thereafter, slowly, his vision capacity and the hands movement capacity and mastery, he goes on improving, growing. Accordingly, bigger paintings, more finer arts, beautiful ones with great concepts and themes, he will be able to paint. So, to a singer, how he starts singing a small little. Thereafter, with more and more discoveries within him, the abilities, and mostly with the abhyasa practice, he goes on becoming master of that singing. A sports person, how he starts, how through his hours together daily abhyasa and his intellectual observation, he keeps on learning, growing. Why we give all this? Only to say that the knowledge to be gained is so vast, so huge. And you and I, at whatever the level we are, our aim should be keep on gaining this true, higher, deeper, authentic jnanam. And with that newly gained knowledge, living at that level, earlier lower level of ignorance, we have to give up. That jnana prapti, jnana yukta jivana is called evolution. Human being can undertake it consciously. So here we are studying these great shastras. The sublimity of subject matter that's there in these shastras is so high, so deep, that at this our present level of intellectual abilities, we may not able to understand. But this is the way that when you keep on continuing with Shraddha, that our skills, abilities, subtleties keep growing to understand the subtler things. This exercise as much, surely, definitely, certainly, evolves us to understand this subject so much. If these efforts are not put, these subtle knowledges remain always oblivion unknown to us. Thereby, we live the gross ignorance only, taking it as knowledge at a very gross objective world level. Then we are stagnant. Thank God the Lord has given us this Sadbuddhi to study the Sat Shastras daily. Saying, Lord, we ask him, O Lord, give us the sukshmata also to understand. Ourselves also gather our all faculties which are distracted into unwanted channels, because of which our faculties are becoming weakened or blunt. Let us strengthen them, keep them sharp, subtle, so that these sublime knowledges we are gaining, thereby we are evolving. This is the idea, keeping which in mind that we are studying Shastras every day, and not to waste the time or not with the overconfidence that everything can be understood by us in few studies or few classes. No. You as listener, me as speaker, both are honestly putting our efforts and slowly getting those blessings to become more subtler, more evolved to understand the higher things. The same text, if someone of the highly qualified level studies, he will be talking on that more sublime way. There are great jnanis from many lives, they must be exposed to this. So, to there are some people who can't even chant it. So the people higher than us also are there, people lower than us also are there. So we are in our own level, with our own pace, with our own bhakti, shraddha, while studying this Shastra, evolving ourselves with the evolution in our intellect, understanding this Shastra better and better. With this in the mind, let us continue studying. We are studying Sri Yoga Vaashishtha Maha Ramayanam, Tritiya Utpatthi Prakaranam Leelopakhyanam, Sri Rama Vasishtha Samvada, Rama's Prashna, uh, Vasishthaji's answer. Ki how the Sharira of theirs entered through that Randhra, taking that as means Bhagavan. Vasishthaji has beautifully explained to us about the Atma Chaitanya, which is called Chidakasha, then the Chittakasha, then the Bhutakasha. Ultimate is the Chidakasha only, the substratum reality. The Chittakasha is only a projection out of it. Further projection is Bhutakasha, grassified. Now, the important point is when we are stuck up at taking that Bhutakasha and it's made Stulata as real, when we are stuck up, that only we experience. And see the funny thing that we will miss the subtle one which is the cause. Means from the Chitta Akasha, the Bhuta Akasha came. We caught up in the Bhuta Akasha and Bhuta Akasha made this Tula Jagat. The cause of it, the Chitta Akasha means the Sukshmata itself, we miss to experience. That is called the power of habits, power of delusions. So, what is the lesson from that? Therefore, the stulata, as much we devalue, disregard, discard, which in technical terms called as the vairagya itself. So, to that extent, again, our inner personality able to apprehend the sukshmata. We can identify with the ativahikata. The Leela is at that level. Mother Saraswati is already the Gnapti Swarupini. She has no thing to obstruct her at all. She is a pure eternal consciousness. Leela was at Stula Deha, but through Yoga Sadhana, she has come to Ativahika Deha Tadatmya with all the certainty, with all the conviction, without even an iota of the doubt. If required, the Stulata can be taken for performance, but that Stula is not real. Sukshma alone is real, and I'm that Sukshma. Into that level she evolved. This is called a yoga sadhana. Therefore, her gati movement is unobstructed by the stula. This was the answer. And at that level only, chitta, chida, and bhuta, teen akash, avina bhavana vashat. Avina bhavana means without chidakasha, chitta cannot be, without chitta akasha, bhuta cannot. Therefore, The Bhutakasha is nothing but Chitta. Chittakasha is nothing but Chidakasha only. Only it's a out of play, it is grass manifested. Out of delusion, lost in the grass and forgot the subtle. Like the children, to play, they go to the ground. But they get deluded so much in the play that they keep on playing. They forget the conscience that they have to study also, do the homework also, help parents also. ये सारे भूल जाते. That is the power of that Maya, of playing with the games. Then when it becomes strong samskara in him, every day he wants to play. Any day if he stopped, he starts becoming miserable. Even I also became so identified with the stula that every moment we are in stula. And whenever we are asked for or told to go to the sukshma level, it's so tough and difficult, painful and miserable, and unnatural to us to become subtle, to identify with the सूक्ष्म शरीर कैसे आई एम स्थूल शरीर हूँ. अब इसका इतना आदत उस shackles को break करना ही साधन. And it's not difficult to understand. In the way we have fallen down, the way we have to rise up. We have fallen down by giving value, we rise up by the giving of the value. That's what is said in different shastras with different languages, but the thing is same. Whether we say Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehinaha, Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehinaha, or Vishaya Virajya Vishaya Bhratat Dosha Dushtya Muhurmuhu, or positively keep involving in the subtler things. Grass is transcended. किसी भी भाषा में बोलो, अचीव करना वही है, साधना करना वही है. May our intellects become subtle enough to grasp all these things, retain also. May we also use this knowledge to consciously put efforts to duly evolve. Let us see what are the shlokas for us to study today. Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo. ओम यैरिमे गुरुमहि पूर्वम् ओम श्रीराम राम रामेति ओम ब्रह्मानंदं परमसुखदम् ओम परम ब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद् गुरुभ्यो नमः. श्रीरामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे श्री वशिष्ठ विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि वेदव्यास वामदेव नारदादि योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणादि शास्त्राणामाचार्येभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषत् योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्षकैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणेतिहास सन्तवाङ्मयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थं तत्रोक्त ऋषिमुनि गुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रहानुभव प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थं धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनरवाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातनधर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यन्तर शत्रुविघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हिंदव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम् अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्रीराम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. मङ्गलाचरणश्लोकाः। ॐ यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखगनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं। ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ स्वसदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे। विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं। तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्रीगुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः। पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आवेश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरभिकलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये। ॐ श्रीरामचन्द्र परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्री वशिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः। श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणं तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणं लीलोपाख्याने समर समनन्तर संस्मृत्यनुभव वर्णनं नाम चत्वारिंशः सर्गः। श्री वशिष्ठ उवाच। ओके ओके from 17th mantra we'll just browse through, though we have done up to 20. What is said in 20th is chittamatram shariram to sarvasyaiva hi sarvatah vidyate vedanat chaitat kvachidetiva hrudgatat. Sarvasya, of every jiva, sarvatah by all means, shariram tu, his personality, body is chittamatram. To begin with, basically, chitta only. Chitta matram. So every one of us are basically sukshma dehas beings, chitta deha beings. Chitta only our sharira, not all this gross. Then vidyate vedanacha etat. You know, vedanacha etat vidyate means when we properly practice the said yoga sadhanas, we will be able to realize our chitta akasha or ativahika deha sthiti. Kvachid eti iva hrudgatatu. If we really from the heart, when we start, we will be able to realize it. Then, what about all this grossness? Yatha avimatam eva asya bhavati. Asya, of this chitta sukshma sharira, yata abhimatam, as his sankalpa, as the sankalpas of this chitta only, the expression of this thulata happens. Yata abhimatam eva asya bhavati astamaya and udaya. The manifestation and the unmanifestation of the gross happens because of the abhimata of this chitta sukshma sharira only. Next, Adi Sarge, in the beginning of the creation, Swabhava Uttam. Swabhava Uttam, uh, from the pure Mula Prakriti, the Samasti Sukshma Sharira expresses Paschat, that alone by the Sankalpa of the Ishvara for facilitating to the Jivas. Paschat, from that Sukshmata, Dvaita Aikya Karanam, the dichotomization first in the grass form, sorry, subtle form, thereafter in the grass form also, the entire Virat Rupa Srushti is projected. Basically, it was first Chitta only. So, pure Brahman, then is Maya Shakti, then the Mahatattva, that only grassifies in the form of the Stula Jagat, which is totally different and exclusive from each other, the gross, tangible, substantial things. Means the mountain is not river, river is not a tree, tree is not the animal, all these grasses which are so distinct from each other are the last manifestation. Before that, they are all in the chitta level, also manifested, differentiated. Chitta level manifestation differentiatedly is called Hiranyagarbha Sthiti or Mahatattva Sthiti. Before that is in the Mula Prakriti, it is one only. So, yatha abhimatam eva asya bhavati astamaya udaya. Therefore, by changing our abhimata from the stula to the sukshma to the bypassing karana, we can reach to our chidakasha sthiti. Okay. Therefore, oh my dear, listen this, think again and again with the subtle intellect, purified intellect, try to grasp it. Hold on to this knowledge. Which knowledge? Chittakasham, chidakasham, akasham chatrutiyakam. So this akasha which we see, the trutiya akasha, stula. In this all the stula vastus are suspended. So to chitta akasham, when you close the eyes, the space of the mind space. In that also the objects are suspended. Like when I close my eyes, I am not seeing the outer bhuta akasha. Now I am in my chitta akasha. In that Chitta Akasha, I can see my own Sharira, I can see you people, I can see this house, this room, whatever the objects are there. They are all Vrityatmaka Vastus or the Jagat. Then the third one is what? Chitta Chidakasha, the pure consciousness, devoid of this Tula Sukshma. All three are Vidyeta Trayam Ekam Tvam. These three are one only. Why avinabhava navashat? Avinabhava navashat means because the third cannot exist without a two. Second. Therefore, the second alone is the third. Second cannot exist without the first. Therefore, first alone is second. But in the second, there are not as many problems as in the third. So, in the first, there are no problems as in the second. The first is Chidakash. Second is Chittakash. Third is Bhutakash. In the Bhutakasha, the perishability is more, which gives pain. In the Chittakasha, the differentiation is more. There also there is pain. In the Chidakasha, imperishability, non-differentiable oneness. Therefore, all pains gone. Think about it. Chittakasham, Chidakasham, Akatusam, Chaturtiyakam, Vidyeetatrayam Ekam. Know that. But even though it's one, but in the third, more problems, second, less problems, one, no problem. One is Chidakasha, two, Chittakasha, three, the Bhutakasha. Therefore, to be zero problemed, you have to come to Chidakasha Sthiti from the Chitta Bhuta. If you want to transcend at least the Bhutakasha Dukkhas, come to the Chittakasha level. Give importance to the Chitta and Chitta Vrittis rather than the gross things that happen. In the Chitta is the knowledge. Like somebody died. Oh, if you look at the body level, that died, the person's body is burnt. Now you cannot see that person, cannot interact. Isn't it? That pain is there. Now come to the Chitta Akasha level. That yes, I had good time spent with that person. Those memories are there with me. And the knowledge is If it is Sthula Sharira, it has to perish one day. So it was natural, it was about to happen, it just happened. The individual gave me good memories. Now somewhere he is there. Let me pray for the well-being of him. Let me count, let him eke out his own further experiences and keep on evolving. And I evolve in my own way, in my own path. After all, no individual is important to another any other individual. Each individual have to discover his own inner evolution. Why after all I have to attach to him? There are many people, if I have to attach, better than him. Isn't it? Why only that? These are all Chitta Akasha Vrittis with which the Bhuta Akasha Samasyas are sorted. If you go to the Chidakasha, I am the pure consciousness witness, eliminating all of these things which are Kalpita projected in my own power. They just dance for me and disappear. None of them are real. चिदाकाश स्थिति में जाओ मौजा ही मौजा. But surely, certainly, you have to reach to that, establish in that, live at that level. The Jivan Muktas are at that level. Once they reach it, they don't have Chittakasha, Bhutakasha problems. That's what in another language told in the Sthita Pragna Lakshana portion of Gita. In Gita language, Dukkeshu Anudignamanaha means in the mind the disturbances will come, he won't get identified. Sugeshu Vegadaspraha, because the situational conduciveness, the mind also finds itself to be peaceful. He doesn't get excited about it. He the Raga Vayakrodaha. He is a witness so much that the Raga Vayakroda are found by him to be unwanted things. Just be in the present moment. Whatever the situation demands you to respond, respond to the best of your wisdoms. Over. No Raga, no Dvesha, no Bhaya, no Krodha. Why all those extra masala ले आना to create indigestion? सिंपल उबाल के खाओ आलू, जितने मसाले डालोगे उतना पेट के लिए तकलीफ होगा उसको हजम करने में. He lives like that life. Right? Next, etat chitta shariratvam vidhi sarvagatodayam. Okay. Yatha samvedane chatvat yatha samvedanodayam. This chitta shariratvam is all pervading. And as it has the samvedana, it's thinking, contemplation. So, tata samvedanodayam. Okay? As I wish, so sankalpa comes. As I change that sankalpa, changes. And as I want to manifest that sankalpa grossly, it can be manifested. Isn't it? Think about it. In your own chitta, on your dining table, you have put all the vessels. आपके चित्त में ही है. Imagine. Then in your own mind, you can change the position of them, na? The चावल का जो भी पतीला है उधर से इधर लाओ, सब्जी का इधर से उधर ले जाओ, घी वाला थोड़ा सरका के उधर करो. Where is all that happening? In your own chitta, as per your own adjustment. Then grossly also you want to act it, manifest it, you do it. That is the meaning of yatha samvedanechatvat yatha samvedana udayam. आपका संवेदना इच्छा जैसा है, संवेदना में चित्त लेवल ऑफ knowledge. So too the action outside. And it is as per your samvedana. है And it is such a funny thing. I'm not going out of track, but just telling. See, some things as per my chitta appear to be convenient if they are arranged like this. But the other person's vasanas or definitions of comforts are different. Therefore, for him, the arrangements should be different. So there comes the clash. That's how the pati wants the things to be kept like that. The patni wants the other way around. उसको उनके चित्त को वो अच्छा लग रहा है, इनके चित्त को ये अच्छा लग रहा है. Then they clash, isn't it? And it goes on, going on. No two people can have the same set of arrangements pleasing them. She wants these plants. She wants all the bougainvillea plants because she's interested in bhoga, not the yoganvillea. But he wants the tulsi plants so that he can offer tulsi every day to his Krishna. But she says, Krishna nahi, tulsi nahi, only bougainvillea, no yoganvillea. Or she wants crotons. Isn't it? He wants a fragrant flowers so that again he can offer it to the Lord. She says, no fragrance, कुछ नहीं, वो एक दिन में सड़ जाते हैं. Let us have the hybrid flower. वो एक बार खिलता है वो फूल, हमारे तरह बहुत दिन रहता है. Her choice is different. Chitta. This is how continuous clash of beings happening in this world. The chittas. The one who has minimum choices in his chitta is minimum miserable. That's the meaning of Jahi Vidhi Rakhe Ram Tahi Vidhi Rahi. He is prepared mentally. जैसा हो लाइक नाश्ते में जो आएगा वो मैं खुशी से खाऊंगा. If this one thought is there in that person for 50 years, whatever the thing she cooks and gives, he will eat. If required, he will vomit in the bathroom, but he will not fight. But the one who has choice, every day there is a Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre on the dining table. मैंने ये सोचा तुम ये बनाओगी, वो क्यों बनाया? ऑलरेडी आई थॉट आपको ये आज पसंद है. The other day, what he tells that only she makes. idli banao. Just out of fancy, she added दो चार गाजर grate करके. Then he says, why did you offer the gajar? मेरे को तो हजम नहीं होता. He will shout. She thought he will like it, but he never likes. Not only because he doesn't like, other is he wants to fight with her, dominate her. अब ये नौटंकी चलता ही रहता है और ज्ञानी इस सबको देखता है. दे नो द चित्तास आर क्लैशिंग. He says as long as they are immature, they will clash. Nobody can change, improve them. They have to change from within only. There is nothing about the big court cases and big international, national fightings. They're all the gross manifestation of the chitta choices only. If the chitta is adjusted with the understanding that the universal peace is important, then they just have a different way of discussions on the round table. Like when you sit for discussion, मैं जो कहता हूँ वही होना है, उसके लिए मैं कुछ भी हो जाए मैं आर्ग्यू करूंगा, डराऊंगा, थ्रेटन करूंगा. If all the five think like that on the table, that meeting will be a yuddha only. On the other hand, each one thinks that if other person's proposal is good in the interest of all nations, I will unobstructingly accept it with whatever suggestions, improvements that can be given. Other also says, I'll put mine. If some better idea is there, I'll accept it. Somebody accepts my idea but gives some improvements, that also I accept. Half an hour में wonderful discussion होगा, then good plannings, wonderful decisions are taken as to ये करेंगे वो करेंगे है ना. Like if the American president, the Israeli president, the Iraq वाला, ये सब बैठकर किसका क्या प्रॉब्लम है प्रपोज करें तो दूसरा बंदा वाकई उसके दिल से समझता है और कहता है यस मैं इसको अवॉइड करता हूँ. वन डे मीटिंग प्रॉब्लम्स आर सॉल्व. But the chittas are so conditioned, so powerful, and each one have the sense of ego so strong. जहाँ अहंकार और चित्त का अपनापन, मतलब मैं जो कहता हूँ वही करेक्ट है, दोनों स्ट्रांग होते हैं, then there will be always fighting and clash. There are no clashes in the world, only chitta. Okay. So yata samvedanechatvat yata samvedanodayam. Now in the next sloka, this chitta only is the one. Please mind you, is manifesting everywhere as everything. That chitta can be yours, can be mine, can be our both together. Or together of 5 people or 10 people or Ishwaras. Samashtika. Everything is that only. Chitta. Anything is chitta if you can see it. If you can see it. Can see it under quotes. 20 examples are given here. Very interesting it is to understand the standpoint of Vasishtha and his experience. What they say, Vasatitra Sarenvantaha. See, this Chitta alone is there in the Trasarenu, supporting that small Trasarenu also, as if it is real and the other Trasarenus are other than it. Chitta only is appearing as that Trasarenu. We told you the Trasarenu, that small suspended dust particles which are ever there anytime but can't be seen. Only a beam of light from outside comes into a dark room. In that you can see. The Trasarenus have not come because the light is focused. They are always there. But our naked eyes just cannot see. When the light reflects in them, in the darkness of the other place of the room, that glittering makes us feel their presence. Even now, there are how much are you clean your house with all vacuum cleaners, millions and millions of dust particles will be there. जितने भी रगड़ रगड़ के शरीर को धो फिर भी कोई मैल मिट्टी होता है और everybody's body is landed by thousands of bacteria every moment. They're all eating our शरीर. Further, we don't even are aware of it. वो खा रहे हैं हमको पता भी नहीं होता जैसे मच्छर खून लेके जाता है आर वी अवेयर और नॉट वी आर नॉट अवेयर नो हर बार अवेयर नहीं होते that's how the trasarenu rupena chitta is there understood next dhriyate gaganodare it becomes more subtler even to take the space the position of this space that's how again and again we say the gross space is nothing but the chitta only concept only आकाश है करके मेरे चित्त में ही है भावना शुद्ध चैतन्य में चित्त ही नहीं है तो आकाश किधर है लाइक निद्रा चित्त इज नॉट देयर इज देयर ए कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ आकाश दिस स्पेस नथिंग नो सो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड इट सो इन अनदर वे इट गोस टू बिकम गगन उदर थर्ड लियते अंकुर कोशेषु there is a ankura, the sprout. In that ankura kosha also, that chitta is there to support it. Next, rasi bhavati pallave. In the pallava, the tender leaves, that sapidity, that rasa, that the gila जो होता है ना वो भी वही है पल्लव में रस के रूप में कौन है चित्त अंकुर में कोश के रूप में कौन है चित्त आकाश में स्पेस के रूप में कौन है चित्त ओनली देन हु इज देयर एज त्रसरेणु चित्त ओनली फोर आर गिवन देन उल्लसति अंबु विचिते प्रनृत्यति शिलोदरे प्रवर्षत्यंबुदो भूत्वा शिलीभूयावतिष्ठते सी उल्लसति अंबु विचिते in the ambu the water which it manifests as the wave पानी में लहर की तरह चित्त ही है वो प्रनृत्यति शिलोदरे इट इज अ शिला in that it only does the dance shila is all our shariras they're all made of matter only but are we not doing the dance चित्त के कारण ही है वो हाँ so to pravarshati ambudo bhutva it only becomes the cloud huge cloud and the rainy season the whole country gets rains ह्यूज देश है ऑफ सो मेनी थाउजेंड्स ऑफ किलोमीटर इतने बादल ऊपर होते हैं मानसून का वो बारिश होता है चित्त ओनली becomes the ambuda and rains then shili bhuya avatishtate again it becomes shila and stationary a huge rock mountain when you see during your badri kedar yatra the huge rocks and mountains इतने बड़े दिखते हैं same when you go to Nepal, see those this side of Kanchenjungas and Everest, वो तो इतने और विशाल. Who is there in that form? Chitta only. Your chitta, my chitta, samashti chitta, Ishvara chitta. Then yathecham ambare yati. It can go into the space. Jatarai picha bhubhrutam. It can enter also into the womb of the bhubhruta, the mountains. Then Anantarakasha Vapuhu, also Ananta Akasha Vyapi, he will be same time Dhattetha Paramanutam. It can also be in the Paramanu size. पूरे आकाश व्याप्त होगा चित्त and it can be in a Paramanu also. That is the Vichitrata of the Chitta. Beyond the Chitta is the Chitta, the consciousness. Consciousness is, that's it. Where is it if you bring the concept of time? Everywhere. Place? Everywhere. When is it if you bring the concept of time? It will be there every time. In which it is, if you bring the concept of objectivity, the pure consciousness is everywhere. Rather, it is Deshakala Vastu Atita. Bhuta Bhavishyat Vartamana Atita. That is different altogether in its status. Of that Paramatma Tattva only, the inseparable Maya Shakti, when gets manifested, it becomes Chitta. In that Chitta, the Maya's Ananta Shaktis make that Chitta imagine all this at the Sukshma level first, then it can be grassified too. And that's what the world you see. See, when these subjects are again and again contemplated, the undue over importance given to the Sthulata goes away. That is called moksha. In the Sthula, all modifications, all births, deaths are there, whereas the Sthula by itself is not real, it is projected. When you know it is projected, when you accept it projected, its birth, stay, death, all of them are equal to you during the time of its stay. With it, whatever the sadhana prayojana, dharma vyavahara prayojana are there, only that much you do it. Like this person is in my life as per the prarabdha for some time. So whatever the prayojana I have to get through, I do it, and with the acceptance that our relation is not permanent, he is not permanent. When you prepare होते हो mentally, he coming is welcoming, his going also is well going. We are not disturbed because we know the fact. This is about one person we said. Extend it. The whole universe also gets manifested out of the chitta, dissolves when the opposite thought is entertained by the Ishvara. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता उससे. And the beauty is what? The reality is intact. And that we are. Therefore, the main investment is always there. है ना? हमारा जो इन्वेस्टमेंट मेन है वो यथावत है. The real self. The other things only projected, rejected for entertainment. Projected for entertainment. When that entertainment reached a peak level and it started giving misery, then we reject it. Rejection also is for the same entertainment. They are complementary to each other. Projection, rejection. The ones who understand this, they won't become miserable. Isn't it? Sometimes my work with you is over, so I leave and go. Sometimes your work is over with me, you will go and go. Sometimes both of our prarabdha is over, so we in a good will say bye to each other. Okay, what is that? What only it's the misconcept of attachment about the future that अरे बंदा और भी होता तो कितना अच्छा होता. It's a projection that gives misery. Like people you are there to listen. Some people come and sit for half a class, 10 minutes and goes. अब उनका उतना ही प्रारब्ध है मैं क्या करूं. The others listen for years together and that is what is his prarabdha. So both of them should not disturb me. Isn't it? That is a maturity. It just happens how even the people are not in full control of themselves, nor in the control of their thinking, nor in the knowledge that what's required for world life, what's not required. Everybody were pushed by the inner nature and prarabdha. इतना अकल है तो we'll become compassionate, kind, loving, and we become prayerful. Oh Lord, always all the beings be in the right path. We don't anymore pray for the specific individuals. No. सबको सम्मति दे भगवान. There's nobody specific in our life from our side. If somebody comes themselves asking for the specific guidance, yes, we respond it. without our own biasness, any sort. Only at that moment. Like I prayed for someone, everyone. Somebody came, Swami, Thoda Ashirwad. I say, oh, I'm praying for your good. हो गया. Only for that moment. उसे आगे पीछे have no load of that person carried. That's how the chitta has to be freed from all these. That's the real freedom. May that subtle things come to our understanding. See that this Yoga Vaashishtha Maharamayana guiding us in that maturity. Next, Bhavati Adrihi. It becomes the mountain. Dhara Dharaha, supported by the earth. Baddha Pitaha, very well supporting the earth. Navashiraha, whose head is almost touching the space. Dehasya Antarbahiravi. Dadat Dadhat Vanataruruham, such big mountain ranges, which within and outside also have the Tanuruha, the Romavali of the trees and forests. Huge mountain range, as if covering the entire earth, and its peak touching the sky. And this mountain range, inside and outside, Tanuruhas are there. The trees are there like the Tanuruha. Chitta can take that position, that's the meaning. So whatever the mountain ranges you see, which have the flora and fauna in and around it, all that is chitta grassified only. अब देखो जिसने सोच सोच के मेडिटेट कर करके for the years lives together has transcended grossness, reached to the subtlety, उसको काय का ग्रास है. That's the only way to get liberated from the grass. Being in the grass, not getting affected by the modifications of the grass is impossible. We suffer it. The only way to escape the dream problems are by waking up to waking level. In the dream, problems continue, they may change. If you want to end all the problems, you have to wake up. So too, you want to dissolve all these Thula Samasyas, become Chittakasha, Chitta Sharira, become the Ativahika Deha. और वहां के भी लिमिटेशन सेंस ऑफ सेपरेशन ड्यूअलिटीज if you want to transcend like the devatas, they don't have sthula sharira only. So where is the difference in them? In there the concepts of individualities which are of the chitta. So chitta mein differences will be there. In the sthulata mein the manifestation, modification, destruction will be there. In the pure consciousness, none of them. That's why even there is at the sukshma level, there also the spardhas become individuality. Next, bhavati akasham. It becomes the instrument space adatte. What? Koti padmaja sadmanam. Oh, ultimate. Padmaja sadmanam means Padmaja is Brahmadeva. Sadma means his house. What is it? Brahmanda. Koti means karodo. That one chitta alone can become karodo karodo Brahmanda. Ananyaha sa atmanaha ambodhiravarta rachana iva. So, just like a beautiful example, the waters and within it the whirlpools. Terrible sometimes. ऐसा घूमता है वो भवंडर पानी के अंदर वाला कि somebody goes inside और घुमा घुमा के उसको ऐसा फेंक देगा या टुकड़ा कर देगा या अंदर ड्राउन कर देगा. But is that so-called very terrible bhavandar anytime away from the water there? In the same way, the Bhavandar life, the whole universe, or Anantakoti Brahmandas, are nothing but the Chitta only. Bhavati, Akasham, Adatte Koti Padmaja Sadmanam, Ananyaha Sa Atmanaha, Ambodhi Avarta Rachana Iva. Avartanas and Ambodhi, whirlpools and the waters, as they are Ananya, so too the Chitta, the worlds, are never ever separate. Okay, now from here another topic starts. Anudvigna prabodhosau sargadau chitta dehakaha akashatma mahan bhutva vetti prakrutatam tadaha. So sarga adau in the time when the creation has not started. Chitta deha kaha. The chitta is anudvigna prabodaha. Chitta is there just without any uh, kalpita differentiations, kalpita, yes, projections are not there in it. Anudvigna prabodaha alone was there. Then later on, Akashatma at that time, Mahan Bhutva Veti Prakrutatam Tataha. Then, as per the Ishvara Sankalpa or the Samashti Jivas Prarabdha, that Chitta, which is in the beginning, Anudvigna Prabodha, gets Udvejita. Out of that Udveja, all these variety of things are appearing to get created, but they are only manifesting. That's it. This is how. Now few examples. Asatyameva varitvam buddhyodetiva tattatha vandhya putroyamastiti yatha swapne brahmo naraha. Asatyameva varitvam buddhya udetiva tattatha. The waterness is absolutely unreal. In the mirage. In the mirage, from the mirage standpoint. है ना मृग तृष्णिका में water asatyam, but at that time before we go and realize that it's only mirage, is not our chitta taking the position of the water and saying pani hai chalo jaake nahate peete. So to vandhya putroyam asti iti. In your mind's concept, you can have a vandhya putra, but is there really a vandhya putra? Word itself is contradiction, no? If she is vandhya barren, she cannot have putra. Yes. No, but nowadays, Swamiji, people, children are, that is not child, that's it. Somehow created, not the way the Lord decided. तुम अपने इधर उधर करके करते हो, it's not the child. हाँ, only the satisfaction, yes, that's it. But if she is Vandhya means that's it, Vandhya only. She can never, that's why you see, no, she got the child, you say, or she or he. Throughout life, the inexplicable thought always will be there in their mind that this child is not normally born. Or that's all. That itself shows that she accepts she is Vandhya, isn't it? So don't give this modern science and technology developed happenings to thwart what is said as an example in the Shastra that the Vandhya Putra is contradiction in terms, but you can imagine him to be there. बात कर सकते हैं ऐसे उसके बाद घोड़े पे जा रहे हैं वंध्या पुत्र कोई सुन भी सकता है इमेजिन ऑल्सो ए पिक्चर बट इज इट देयर इफ इज वंध्या शी कैनॉट हैव ए चाइल्ड सो असत्यमेव वारित्वम बुद्ध्या उदेति व तत्तथा वंध्या पुत्रोयम अस्ति यथा स्वप्ने भ्रमो नर अगेन इन द स्वप्न द नर आल्सो विथ ऑल द उटपटांग थिंग वो करता रहता है इन द सेम वे द परमात्मा ओनली with his own Maya Shakti manifested as Chitta, which is also manifestation as real in the Chitta because of these Spandanas. The whole world is appearing but not real, like the Vandhya Putra, appearing but not real, like the Mirage water. Therefore, gaining this knowledge of the reality, start seeing from the drishti of the reality that the reality alone is real. All else is manifesting either for Leela or for some sadhana or some vyavahara. That's it. More than that, it is not as real as we are lost in taking as real. हाँ वो जीव को बस कल्पना हुआ ये वो भोग करना है उसके लिए उसके अंदर जो शक्ति है या भगवान की शक्ति से उसको शरीर मिला and he has gone through all that it's over he leaves it उसमें क्या बड़ा बड़ा like sometimes in some big functions मेला एग्जीबिशन एक राजा और रानी का ड्रेस पहनाते फिर एक सिंहासन पे बिठाकर उनका फुटवा लेते you will see that all those attire is put they are made and there make दैट इज दे वांटेड टू एक्ट लाइक दैट देयरफॉर 2 मिनट के लिए उनको बिठा के फोटो निकाला उसके बाद चल उतर इन द सेम वे आई गॉट दिस बॉडी बिकॉज थ्रू दिस आई वांट टू डू सम नौटंकी दैट चित्ता ऑफ माइंड मेड दिस बॉडी अपीयर और जब वो हो गया तो चला जाएगा अब इसको बतंगड़ बनाने वाली बात क्या है बताओ देयर इज नो इशू वी मेक एन इशू इट्स जस्ट एनीथिंग रिलेशंस फ्रेंडशिप्स पोजेशंस पावर्स हमारा चित्त ने सोचा इसलिए कुछ समय हमने उसमें मौजा उठाया खत्म हो गया बात कोई अफसोस जताने की बात ही नहीं है हाँ देर आर हेतुस causes to be done to get those things you do them along with sankalpa all as long as that power is there so long it remains when that the cause power goes away that goes away isn't it everywhere and none of the things which start in time and space can be permanent can be infinite that rules some of them you have to accept isn't it that's how a country's growth terribly or beautifully the country grows when the leadership as the followers all of them are tuned to each other and all of them tuned to the common goal तो 20 30 40 साल वो देश ऐसा तरक्की करके ऑल अदर कंट्रीज को पछाड़ देता है पीछे टॉप कंट्री एंड दैट्स नॉट परमानेंट isn't it then the leaders will change they will have their own ghatia plans of selfishness laziness no vision so too the following generation of people too if they are of different type then together they eat away their own country instead of development they destroy. Again, after 100 years, the other king will come with vision. Same time, the praja also will be there with that patriotic drushti. Together again, they bring up the country. क्या फर्क पड़ता है ये चलता ही रहता है हाँ nothing is so important in this world because everything chitta only pure paramatma is alone reality at least from the gross to the chitta level you go then the gross miseries will go away because we know the grass only is manifestation of subtle, not as much as it is real like subtle. हो गया ना वो दुख नहीं होता अभी ग्रास का बट सटल का दुख होता है सटल का दुख of differences difference that goes away when the common substratum the pure consciousness is apprehended in and through all and that alone is reality चिल्ला चिल्ला के हमारे गुरु लोग इतने शास्त्र लिखे इतने उपनिषद oh they are even now coming in one or the other form of the gurus guiding us. Now the Rama will ask a question, Kim chittam bhavati kim va bhavati no katam katameva na sadrupam nanyad bhavati vikshanat. Very sublime prashna and equally high level of uttara. Let us see how much of it will be able to contemplate on. है ना थोड़ा थोड़ा हमारा 0.05% ऐसे करते करते तो 0.1% होएगा धीरे धीरे 0.2 0.3 0.4 ऐसे 10 जन्म में 1% 100 जन्म में 10% होगा 1000 जन्म में 20% will learn it one day we will learn na when we are pursuing continuously and invoke the Saraswati Mata Kripa, Vaashishtha Kripa, Rama Kripa, our chitta becomes subtler, finally like theirs. So what they are saying exactly that we'll be able to understand at that time. तब तक हम पढ़ते रहेंगे क्यों क्योंकि ये मुक्ति का ग्रंथ है ना तो इफ इट इज इट वुड हैव बीन अदर थिंग वुड हैव लेफ्ट इट और चेंज्ड इट अब इसको छोड़ना चेंज करने का फर्क नहीं जरूरत नहीं है इसी को करते रहो तुम इंप्रूव हो जाओ you know, when you keep on studying Shastras, the same ones, Shastras remain same, but we keep growing. That's the beauty of it. गीता पढ़ते रहो तो हम इम्प्रूव होते रहते हमारा ज्ञान बढ़ता रहेगा हमारे कन्विक्शंस विल कीप ऑन बिकमिंग सटलर एंड द रियलिस्टिक reality starts becoming our real conviction. Continue tomorrow. Sarvam Ramarpanam. वशिष्ठार्पणम माता सरस्वती चरणारविंदार्पणम वाल्मीकि विश्वामित्रादि गुरुनाम अर्पणम ओम पूर्णमदः श्रुतिमात्रे नमः तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणम अस्तु. We tried today, continue tomorrow also. Thank you. अब आओ वाक्य वृत्ति पढ़ते हैं लघु.